Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Self-Achievement Network. My name is Dominic. I am the host, and I'm here today with 𝗟𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗡𝗧𝗜.
Hello.
𝗟𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢 is a content creator, and she is one of the moderators in the Self-Achievement Network marketing group. And we've invited her to talk a little bit today about her series we're creating as we speak. This is the first of a series of 30, right?
Yes, 30 posts.
30 posts. 𝗟𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢 is in Manila, and she has been really passionate about creating content for a while. And so she created, came up with an idea to create 30 different topics. And so we've decided to convert them from text to video. We're going straight to the top. So tell us a little bit about how did you come up with the idea, first of all, and then what's the purpose for the series?
Okay. So, yeah, it was just a spur of the moment decision to create a series of 30 posts because it was the end of the month back then, and it's a perfect time to start something fresh right on at the beginning of the month. So I thought of creating a series of posts about what businesses can create content about, because that's one of the most common questions that I get about content, that businesses at some point don't know what to post anymore. They have no idea what to talk about, what to create content about, and they just run out of ideas. So I'm trying to, what I'm trying to do right now is to give them, to provide them with more ways of how to get those ideas and get their content running on a regular basis, to get that consistency with their posts and be visible all the time with their audience. And so there, I hope that my series is doing that at the moment.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I think that it's a very common issue. Of course, here in the Self-Achievement Network, one of our missions is to support people in sharing their passion. And so one of the things that I know that people always struggle with is, what do I post next? So I love the title of your series, I Don't Know What to Post series. This is great. And today, the first topic is going to be what?
It's all about looking up your competitors' content.
Okay.
So I started out with that topic because it's a great way of gathering content ideas, especially if you're just starting out and you have absolutely no idea what content to start with and what particular content type or content format works for your particular audience. So it's a great way to just look at what people who have been doing basically what you're doing for a longer time, and who have a certain leverage over you in terms of the amount of content that they've already produced and the following that they already have. So.
Yeah, and so it's not really about copying their content. It's really about gathering and brainstorming fresh ideas for ourselves to then create our own content to our own, personal,
that's
like
really
that.
important. Yeah, because you don't want to be seen as someone who just copies other businesses' content. It's especially if they have a loyal following and they see your website pretty much talking about the same things, presenting your content the same way. So it won't be good for your business that way, especially if you're just trying to build your own audience. So
yeah,
it
reminds me of that quote.
Content for your own brand.
Yeah, there's a quote somewhere that says something. You make a great you, but you make a terrible somebody else. Something like that. So we want to be original. That's wonderful.
Yes.
Okay, so what are we going to see today? What are you going to tell us?
So So yeah, I thought that people can easily look up the posts that I made on my own social media account, so they can read what I shared there. So what I thought of doing for this video is to have an actual example of how to do the particular steps that I mentioned there, and see live, well, through this video how it's actually done. So
Okay.
let me just
And these are things that you've actually done before for your own
yes,
business, right?
yes,
Yeah.
for my own
Great.
clients. Okay, so let me just share my screen. Okay. So I made a prior search for I used the work that I currently do as an example because I have a content marketing business. I do content marketing for my clients. And so I create content about content marketing a lot, and how to help businesses come up with really good content for their businesses. So
Mm-hmm.
so in my case, if I want to have more ideas of what content to post and what other ideas to share on my own profile, on my own, let's say, website or social media pages, I can easily look up the top, let's say, content marketers for this year, 2019. Or if you want, you can also do specific location specific searches for the top businesses in your own industry to make the search more localized in your community. So, but for me, I find it okay to do general searches like this because the doing, let's say, a search for top content marketers for this year, I can
Mm-hmm.
easily find the results actually show the websites that are leading in terms of providing content marketing ideas already. So I can
Mm-hmm.
really go to these websites individually and check what particular topics they talk about and what particular posts they're making.
Mm-hmm. So
Um,
you're saying that there's many different ways to do the search,
yes.
and so I guess the lesson there is to experiment with the different types of searches, that you're doing to find something that is more in alignment with what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely. So So yeah, most of the time, well, when you do this particular search, it will generate, let's say, a list of the top
Okay.
marketers, things like that. So you can access a list, certain list. But for this particular example, I would like to look up, let's say, one of the top content marketers in the world right now. So 𝗖𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗧. So searching 𝗖𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗧's content separately, it would generate the different content platforms that he currently has, like his website. He has a Twitter account, LinkedIn, YouTube. He's pretty much everywhere. So he's a
Mm-hmm.
great example of he's one of the persons I really follow in terms of content marketing because he constantly has new ideas on that he shares with his audience. So looking at his website,
Wow.
there are lots of things you can see here. And um so as a business owner, when you visit your competitor's website, you would like to look at the topics, just looking at the titles of the posts, whether it's a blog article or a video or a podcast episode of this.
And
Just
this
looking
is
at
his
it.
blog, right?
Yes, this is his blog. You can immediately see what topics your competitor talks about, and you can actually see a pattern on what certain themes, what certain categories he focuses on. Let's say, well, it's generally marketing, but there are lots of things about social media here, and specific strategies, techniques, and the content he produces are very much on specific tips and how-tos that his audience really find useful in terms of applying to their own businesses. So that I find those really useful, and I try to create things like that for my own business as well. So
interesting. So let me just ask one thing real quick. So like, so 𝗖𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗧, he's an internationally known marketing, expert, right?
Yeah.
If you can find him anywhere, basically on the internet. And so now, am I like thinking in my head, I'm going to compete with this guy? I don't think so, really, because he's just so, it's really more about generating ideas for me as a marketer, if I was a marketer, to gather some, some input to help me to create my own content.
Yes.
Okay, I understand.
So yeah, you don't have to be pressured to produce exactly the same content, exactly the same amount of the same number of posts that he's producing on a daily basis. You just what I'm trying to show here is that you looking at businesses who have already produced a ton of content on their own content platforms. You can have a lot of ideas on what to talk about for your own business, and take inspiration from not just the topics that are being talked about, but also the content types that they produce. For example, here you can find not just blog articles in text form, but also in audio form, like these podcast episodes and these videos. So, what that tells me is that people who are interested in content marketing are engaging well with these types of content, not just text-based blog articles, but also videos and audio as well. So as a content marketer myself, I might want to explore creating content in those formats as well, and see how well my audience would engage with those, as compared to just creating a text-based copy for my own content. So just by looking at how content is presented, you can also explore other ways of presenting your content as well.
So this, 𝗖𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢 has a lot of content, and do you feel that this is the secret, or one of the best ways to create, what am I looking for? The credibility for ourselves is to have more content so that people can see that we really know what we're talking about?
It's not really the amount of content that we produce. It's, for me personally, I think it's about the quality of content and what really resonates with your audience the most. That's important, because if businesses rely on the frequency of posting, the number of posts they produce on a daily basis, they might sacrifice quality in that way, because their main focus is, I have to post today, I have to post every day, I have to create like 7 posts daily, things like that. And it's sometimes they focus on the quantity so much that they lose focus on what really matters, which is giving value to their audience. And sometimes they they sacrifice quality in that way. So what I tell my audience all the time is to really focus on delivering value and putting your audience first every time you produce content, and really knowing why you're doing content in the first place, you're creating content in the first place.
Mm-hmm. So the basic idea is quality over quantity.
Yes.
I mean, quantity is important, but it's not as important as quality.
Yes, because if you think about it, if you produce really great piece of content, and your audience, your clients, potential clients find it really useful and valuable, and that alone is a premise for them to keep checking your site, your social media page for more content like that. And there is a high possibility that they would share that content to other people who might be interested.
Mm-hmm.
In as opposed to creating content, mediocre content every time, regularly, like let's say every day, but but your audience doesn't find it as valuable, and they don't like it as much, they can easily unfollow you. They can easily not just not just ignore your page, your website completely, and just zone out and just look for more valuable content elsewhere. So
yes,
that's why I'm continuously like pushing for quality content every time.
Excellent. I like what you say. On your own personal Facebook timeline that I'm looking at now, the first one, of course, is about looking at your competition. Knowing the competition is really important. You say many businesses start off strong in the content game, but eventually reach a point where they don't know what to post anymore. And so I think that the original idea is, of course, to create really quality content. And I'm certainly guilty of that, for a better word, of wanting to put out more. And I've watered it down. And I'm now learning, no, I need to slow myself down and really focus and create a plan, do my research first up front, and then put together a post that has high quality.
Yes. Yeah.
Great. And so now we are going to be doing this in a series. You've got, oh my gosh, I don't know how many that are created, but you're going to do, for starting off, 30 of them. And these topics are just amazing. So this first one is about looking at the competition. The next one that we're going to do is about asking customers. It says ask customers. So then that'll be posted for the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah.
Conclusions?
Okay. So if you're a business owner and you would like to try this particular tip for gathering content ideas, so I would just like to highlight some key points that you need to remember. So number one, you really, when looking at looking up competitors' content, you must look at the content of the right people, meaning those people whose content is good, and whose content are getting traction with their audience. Because if you look at a particular competitor's website and their content is not doing that well, and you take inspiration from that, and you might have the same performance as their content. So you'd like to find that those competitors that you have who are doing well in terms of content, who have a huge following already, whose audience constantly engage with their pages, with their posts, leaving comments, sharing, things like that. So it takes a bit of research, but I think a quick Google search would take you to the right places, and it's just a matter of like, patience. So and also the second is as we mentioned a while ago, it's not about directly copying what they're doing, just taking inspiration about taking inspiration from what they're currently posting, what topics they're talking about, and creating your own content, quality content based on those topics, and even creating better ones. Let's say if you found a list of like top 10 things to do, things like that, well, why not create a list of top 20, top 30, just to go above the competition? It's you can use this particular tip to strategize your content as well. So make it your own and make it all about your audience, your particular audience, and your brand, and not just directly copy pasting everything. Yes, that's not good. And lastly, I guess is to not just look at what topics, what ideas you can get out of your competitors' content, but also try to look at the details in terms of the engagement they're getting, and the types of the questions, the comments that their audience are leaving on their posts, and also the particular way they are presenting content, what content type are they using? Are they producing more of text-based blog articles, or are they also posting graphics, infographics, videos, or do they have their own podcast? And you might want to explore those things as well for your own content, and not just aside from looking at the topics being talked about. So, then.
Excellent. That's all excellent. I really appreciate the detail that you put into this, and for sharing your knowledge. Thank you so much. And for those of you who are watching, of course, if you got value out of this, please like and share and comment and all that great stuff. So from all of us here in the Self-Achievement Network, 𝗟𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢, thank you so much. We will post the links to the to your timeline and to your other profiles, and also to the Self-Achievement Network marketing group. Thank you all. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.
Bye.